TWA has a long and glorious history, from Lindbergh to TAT to Howard Hughes to today. We pioneered transatlantic travel. We launched the jet age. We were the airline of the stars and the airline of the popes. That's our history. We must never forget it and never stop taking inspiration from it. However, we must also recognize that a glorious history will not secure business success in 1996. During the past year, we made a new beginning. Together, we flew this airline out of financial danger and put it back on course. We laid the financial foundation for future success. We can all be proud of that. But we also must recognize that there is still a long, long way to go before the people of TWA can say we've made it. We must build a new TWA that can prosper into the future, and we must do so quickly. Last year, we talked about our strategy for success. Today, I want to introduce Flight Plan 97. We're going to expand on our business strategy. We're going to talk about the challenges facing us between now and the end of 1997. We will talk about 4 key areas in which we must focus our efforts. And we will discuss an exciting new program to dramatically improve TWA's ranking in the DOT reports and to reward each of you in cash. First, let's assess where we stand today. Let's define a starting point for the work ahead. Financially, we're in pretty good shape. We have strengthened our balance sheet. We earned an operating profit last year. We brought down costs. We are earning more revenue. These are important achievements, and we can be proud of them. Operationally, the story is not as good. We've had isolated successes, for example, Trans World 1, but after 10 years of underinvestment and asset stripping, we simply do not run a very good airline compared to our peers. It shows in the DOT consumer reports. In 1995, we finished last in all 3 categories: 10th in on-time performance, 10th in baggage mishandles, and 10th in customer complaints. We have become uncompetitive in the industry. In terms of schedule, convenience, and reliability, we simply aren't as good as other big network airlines. The result, in a business sense, is what we call a revenue gap. To understand the challenges facing TWA, it is important that we all understand the concept of the revenue gap. And I want to take a little time to explain it to you. Here is one way to look at the revenue gap. In our top 200 domestic origin and destination markets, TWA has about 14.3% share of schedule, and we sell about the same amount of the traffic. But we collect only 10.9% of the revenue. The difference between the 10.9% of the revenue we actually earn and the 14.3% of revenue that would be our fair share based on schedule is more than $400 million per year. Let me repeat that. The difference between the revenue we actually collect and our fair share based on schedule is more than $400 million per year. Here's another way to look at the revenue gap. In the 4th quarter of 1995, TWA's gross revenue per available seat mile was about 8.45 cents. We flew about 9.5 billion available seat miles and collected about $804 million in revenue. American Airlines had a gross revenue per ASM of 9.95 cents. American's revenue for flying 9.5 billion ASMs in the 4th quarter was approximately $945 million. That's $140 million more than TWA received for producing the same product during the same 3 months. Continental got about $107 million more for flying 9.5 billion ASMs in the 4th quarter. Delta collected an extra $91 million. Northwest received $133 million more. and United got an extra $73 million. Each of these airlines produces the same product we produce. Each of these airlines offers essentially the same fare structure. But because travelers are more likely to choose our competitors, and especially because premium fare business travelers tend to prefer other airlines, our competitors are able to sell their product for significantly more money than we can. This revenue gap is the penalty we are now paying for 10 years of neglect. It is the challenge we must overcome during the next 2 years if we hope to build a future for TWA. It is a twofold challenge. First, we must deal with it right now. Revenue gap or no revenue gap, we cannot continue to lose money and expect to remain in business. Second, we must eliminate it in the near future. Ultimately, we must be able to generate revenue on a par with our competitors in order to restore competitive wages and achieve long-term business success. Last year, we told you that our strategy for success is to achieve the lowest unit costs among the full-service airlines while providing our customers the best service and value for their travel dollar. That strategy is directly aimed at the dual challenge of the revenue gap. Let me explain why. First, let's talk about unit cost and why we must keep driving them down. Another look at the revenue gap explains it. Remember, in our top 200 markets, we provide 14.3% of the schedule, but we get only 10.9% of the revenue. In those same markets, American Airlines provides about 18.1% of the schedule, but gets 20.4% of the revenue. Because they are a preferred carrier, especially among business travelers, American can generate significantly more than their fair share of revenue, while we generate significantly less. American gets more money for its product. That's why American can turn a profit even though their unit costs are higher than ours. The lesson is clear. If we cannot sell our product for as much money as our competitors do, we must produce our product for less than they do. This is the first part of our strategy for success, to become the lowest cost full-service airline. That's how we surmount the revenue gap and earn a profit right now. But cost containment alone is not an acceptable long-term solution. For the long term, we look to the second part of our strategy for success, to provide the best service and best value to our customers. This part of the strategy is designed to eliminate the revenue gap once and for all. Historically, TWA has been one of the most respected, most preferred airlines in the world. When we once again achieve a level of customer service and customer preference that allows us to collect as much revenue for our product as American, United, or Delta, the revenue gap will be gone. We will all enjoy the rewards as employees through improved compensation and job satisfaction, and as owners through enhanced value of our stock in TWA. Let's recap what we've discussed so far. After 10 years of turmoil, TWA finds itself on the wrong side of a huge revenue gap. Our share of revenue is well below our share of schedule. Consequently, we do not generate as much revenue for our product as our competitors. We need both short-term and long-term strategies to deal with this problem. Our strategy for success addresses both needs. In the short term, lowering costs will produce profits despite unit revenue that is lower than our competitors. In the long term, providing the best service and value will win back customers, especially premium fare business travelers, and eliminate the revenue gap once and for all. That's what we want to do. But how do we do it? How do we actually implement this strategy? How can each of you play your part? To answer those questions, I want to give you 4 goals to pursue between now and the end of 1997. 4 challenges on which we must focus if we want to implement our strategy for success. We'll be talking about these 4 goals again and again in the months ahead. Today, I want to give you just a brief overview. Here are our 4 goals. We must fly the best schedule. We must get more out of our assets. We must deliver great customer service. We must work simpler, work smarter, and work together. These are important points. Let me repeat them. Fly the best schedule, get more out of our assets, deliver great customer service, work simpler, work smarter, and work together. In the months ahead, you'll see Skyliner articles and videos covering each of these 4 objectives in detail. For now, let me briefly summarize what each one means. Fly the best schedule. Most potential revenue improvement is related to schedule productivity. Schedule productivity involves 3 things. First, we must identify the most profitable routes we can fly utilizing our existing fleet and our existing hubs. Second, in the markets we identify as the best opportunities, we must offer the most customers the most convenient schedule in terms of destinations, departures, times, and fare mix. Third, we must operate that schedule reliably. Here are some ways we can improve. We are investing in management systems that enable us to draw a schedule and manage revenue and yields as well as other major network airlines. We are improving our flight profitability management system to assure that we are using our limited number of aircraft and staff hours to fly the routes and times with the highest profit potential. We are investing in our operational systems and staffing and renewing our personal commitments to improve dispatch reliability and on-time performance. We will forge marketing alliances with non-U.S. airlines to expand schedule options for our customers and sales inventory for us. Get more out of our assets. Our major assets, other than our people, include our hubs at St. Louis and JFK, our maintenance facilities, our international route authorities, and our fleet. We have invested tremendous amounts of financial and human capital in acquiring and building these assets. We can improve our return on all of these assets. In St. Louis, we must secure airport expansion and refine our hub schedule. At JFK, we must secure terminal and airfield improvements and must improve hub utilization through alliance agreements. We must continue to expand profitable international flying, such as New York to Rome. We must add more efficient aircraft to our fleet, such as our new 757s. We must streamline maintenance operations, and we must increase aircraft utilization. Deliver great customer service. There is much we can do to empower ourselves to deliver great customer service, and much that TWA can do to support us as we work to achieve this goal. Perhaps the most exciting initiative is a new incentive program we call Follow the Dot. We are serious about consistently making the DOT list of top 5 airlines in on-time performance, luggage mishandles, and passenger complaints. Every month we do it. Between now and the end of 1997, you each will receive a cash bonus, as much as $100 added to your paycheck. But the promise of a bonus check alone won't do it. TWA will back your efforts to follow the dot in many ways. We're committed to customer service training programs like Team TWA. We will invest in the systems technology you need on the job. For example, passenger processing systems and operations control systems. We will invest in staffing to meet the schedule. Pilots, flight attendants, reservation sales agents, and airport personnel. These customer service goals are achievable, and I'm personally looking forward to mailing out the first incentive checks. Work simpler, work smarter, work together. For reasons we've already discussed, TWA must continue to lower its cost per unit. However, there are many costs we either cannot or will not cut further. For example, wages, salaries, and benefits is an area in which we have already cut all we can. Our focus in the future will be on finding ways we can restore wages and benefits, not on reducing them further. So how do we lower our cost per unit? The answer is improved productivity. Productivity is a dirty word in some circles. It shouldn't be. Improving employee productivity at TWA does not mean more wage concessions, layoffs, or longer hours for less pay. Productivity improvement simply means finding ways to produce more of our product with the same amount of work, thereby continuing to lower our cost per unit. We do that by improving our systems and our processes, not by lowering wages. By many measures, TWA today is simply not very productive. For example, one recent study looked at the number of available seat miles per employee produced by the major airlines. This is a fairly common measurement of productivity in our industry. The study found that we rank 7th of the 9 largest airlines in this regard. This is the kind of thing we have to change by working smarter, working simpler, and always working together. There are many ways to do it. The sales department is transitioning to virtual offices, equipping sales reps with laptop computers and other tools and training that will enable them to work outside the normal office environment. They'll spend less time doing office work and more time out selling, making them more productive and better employees. Our productivity task forces and change teams have come up with millions of dollars worth of ways to work smarter. One recently developed effort to improve the way we pack and ship parts is expected to save more than $2 million per year in damage to parts and shipment. We will work with the leadership of our unions to identify work rule changes that can enhance productivity without threatening jobs or wages. Our industry changes dramatically from year to year, and our work rules must keep pace with that change if we hope to become and remain a profitable airline. And we will work with our managers to make sure they understand that TWA's senior management is fully committed to hearing and implementing your ideas for cost savings and productivity improvement. We expect everyone in the management ranks to be equally committed. Working simpler, working smarter, and working together is important to TWA's future. It is just as important to you as individuals. It will help you achieve and maintain the job satisfaction we all desire. Let's recap the key points of Flight Plan 97. First, we have a great history. It inspires us, but it can't secure our future. To do that, we must build a new TWA. Our 1995 financial restructuring gave us the financial strength we need to begin this journey. On the operations side, however, we are years behind the competition, as evidenced by the extreme revenue gap between us and our competitors in our top 200 markets. We have a two-part strategy for success to address this problem. We will become the lowest cost full-service airline so that we can generate profit now despite the revenue gap. We will offer our customers the best service and best value to win them back and to eliminate the revenue gap. To implement this strategy for success, we must continually pursue 4 goals. Number 1, fly the best schedule. Number 2, get more out of our assets. Number 3, deliver great customer service. Number 4, work simpler, work smarter, and work together. In the months ahead, we'll talk again and again about these issues. You will see a lot of news out of TWA. News about hiring, about new aircraft, about new flying, and about change for the better. When you read and hear about these things, think about our strategy for success. Think about our 4 goals, and think about how it all fits together. If it doesn't all fit, ask someone about it, your supervisors, your union leaders, or me. It is extremely important that each and every one of us understands TWA's plans and strategy for returning this airline to the position of greatness you all have earned. If we have helped build that kind of understanding today, we have taken an important step into our future. Thank you.